And you've been watching ABC News' special election coverage. We are interrupting their programming to bring you coverage here of Commitment 2024 in Wisconsin.
And now we will hear from former President Donald Trump if he takes the stage. But first, we want to get you latest update here on the numbers in the race for president here in Wisconsin. Take a look at your screen here. We have 88% reporting former President Donald Trump with 51% of the vote to Kamala Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris is 47% of the vote. Now, Trump won Wisconsin back in 2016. Remember that. Biden flipped back Wisconsin by improving just enough in the state's urban and suburban centers. And now, Derek, we watch what will happen here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, the lead for the former president, 123,000 votes here in the state of Wisconsin. Let's take a look at another important race, and that is the race for Wisconsin's contested U.S. Senate seat between incumbent Tammy Baldwin and Republican challenger Eric Hovde. You see the split there. Eric Hovde has been leading for quite some time in the evening, as we are keeping an eye on these numbers with now 89% reporting.
And of course, Eric Hovde there in an attempt to flip the seat in this race. The city of Milwaukee's absentee ballots are still being counted at this hour. 12 News' Kendall Keys joining us live at the Baird Center. Kendall, you had mentioned at last check that we are in the home stretch.
That's right, Deanna, and they just came over the loudspeaker again saying that there are only 3 wards left here to process, and the last update came about 30 minutes ago. They said they had processed about 103,000 of those 108,000 ballots. So I'll give you a look here. There are still some people over here working. Eventually, all of the results will be taken from those tabulation machines, loaded onto secure flash drives is what they're calling them, and then eventually will be packed into this secure box. You can see it right there. It says Milwaukee Public Library on it. That box will then be transferred over to the courthouse with the absentee ballot results here.
Kendall Keys live at the Baird Center where that count continues, as you mentioned, in the home stretch as we're waiting for those final numbers to come in for Milwaukee and those absentee ballots.
And now let's send it over to 12 News' Nick Bohr. He's joining us live at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Nick, I want you to kind of break down. You have a board there behind you. Kind of walk us through where we are at this point at 1:02 in the morning.
Right, and those flash drives that Kendall was talking about will come here with a police escort, but none of them have arrived yet, not only the ones from Milwaukee, but also the city of Wauwatosa and West Allis. Also still waiting for absentee votes from Oak Creek, Cudahy, and Hales Corners. In the last few minutes, Franklin and Greendale did complete their absentee counts as well. And with that, I mean, that's just the absentee votes that are still out. All of the in-person voting from today is in, and it's included in those numbers that you guys have been giving most recently. So at this point, it's just the absentee votes from those communities that we're still waiting for those results to come in. A couple of them will come in electronically, Cudahy and Hales Corners. The others, and Oak Creek, the other 3 will come in on those flash drives. And again, we'll see that with a police escort when they arrive. The question, as you guys said, nationally, will this still be important in the national campaign by that point?
All right, a lot to watch out for. Everybody is working around the clock. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. Nick Bohr reporting live for us in Milwaukee.
All right, let's take a moment here to turn to our expert, our in-house expert, 12 News political director Matt Smith, with a look at the breakdown of the numbers in the race for the White House here in Wisconsin.
Generous words at 1 a.m. Expert.
I've got a lot of coffee in me.
Some caution with that. Let's set the stage, big picture. Fox News has called the race for Wisconsin, for Trump. ABC, the Associated Press, has not called it yet. And here's what is giving Fox confidence in this. There's 88% reporting. Think about this for a second. You have 108,000 absentee ballots in the city of Milwaukee alone. There's 41 municipalities across the state that use central count, and those are still coming in. So keep that number in mind. Trump's lead over Kamala Harris right now is 122,902. Republicans and Democrats at this point think it's very, very difficult, if not impossible at this point, for Democrats to make up the gains that Trump has right now, given where we are, even though some of those major votes are going to come in from Democratic centers like the city of Milwaukee. It seems impossible. Democrats and Republicans are conceding at this moment to make up that. The Associated Press, ABC News, though, still had not called this race, waiting to see what happens, especially in key counties like Milwaukee. Let's just take a look at Milwaukee County minus those absentee ballots with 63% reporting. Kamala Harris was 65%, Donald Trump 33%. This 33%, Republicans are feeling happy about that. Also in Dane County, Trump maintained 23% of the vote to Kamala Harris's 75. That is significant in terms of what Republicans do in an incredibly liberal and Democratic county. Here's where we need to think about the U.S. Senate race. This has not been called at all by any organization, and here's why. 89% reporting this is a lot closer. Eric Hovde's lead 50 to 48%, 67,428. Democrats feel at this moment there is room, and a significant room, for Baldwin to make up Hovde's lead when these absentee ballots come in from the city of Milwaukee. Let's just review one more time. Hovde's lead right now, 67,428. Compare that to Donald Trump's lead of 122,902. This seems impossible. Democrats are feeling more confident about the Senate race. The conventional wisdom and thought had been that Trump would have to do incredibly well, 1-2 points, in order for Eric Hovde to be successful. As we take a look at some of the key counties for the Senate race, with 64% in Milwaukee County, Baldwin with 66%. In Waukesha County, a key Republican stronghold, with 99% reporting. Hovde taking 60%. That's decent. Republicans would always like to bump that up in Waukesha County to Baldwin's 39%. In Ozaukee County, 80% reporting. Hovde with 57% of the vote to Baldwin's 42%. And Washington County, this is a critical stronghold that Republicans have continued to maintain, 70% for Hovde, with 100% reporting to Baldwin's 28%. This obviously impacts the balance of power. Republicans now projected to regain control of the Senate. The House is still a question. 7 seats in play, Republicans 51, Democrats 42. This map is going to play out. The U.S. Senate race in Wisconsin is one of those key indicators. Once again, recapping where we are, awaiting those absentee results. Guys, when we look at this lead, Fox has called it. ABC, the Associated Press, has not yet, but we're starting to see the trend in terms of where the presidential race will go with that wide lead. Democrats not feeling confident that Kamala Harris can make it up in Wisconsin. But the big question now is going to be what's going to happen to this Senate race. And are those votes, can those Democratic votes catch up to what Hovde has at this point? This will be the first time since 1968 in a presidential cycle that Wisconsin voters split their ticket, with a president at the top of the ticket and the Democrat in the Senate. If they split their ticket, the first time since 1968, we're going to have to see what happens with all these absentee votes in this critical U.S. Senate race.
All right, Matt, and we're just getting a development here in our ears from our producers. ABC News just called Pennsylvania for former President Donald Trump as a projected winner. We are going to continue monitoring that and give you the latest numbers here. If you just work with me here to give you the latest numbers that we have, because this is, again, just coming in.
Those are 19 electoral votes with Pennsylvania.
Okay. There we go. With 94% reporting, we have the numbers here, and I'm going to read them off my screen. Former President Donald Trump with 51% of the vote to Kamala Harris's 48% of the vote. And in between those percentage points, we're talking about almost 200,000 votes. Again, ABC News just here projecting the winner of Pennsylvania for the race of the presidency as former President Donald Trump.
And just to do the math for you here, we have the former president at 248, 19 electoral college votes with Pennsylvania puts him at 267, just 3 electoral votes shy of winning the White House again for the former president. And at least as this path goes right now, he may be in line to be the next president.